Ready? Hello? Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to a special marathon linked to ShabbatUK. Nice to see you all. This afternoon is the brainchild of our esteemed rabbi, and he will be conducting proceedings from now on. So without further ado, please welcome Rabbi Eisenberg.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be sitting because I have a camera over here, so we're broadcasting this out. Thank you everybody who's come to watch this live. Thank you to those of you who are watching it online as well. ShabbatUK, yes, or started off as a Shabbos project. The Shabbos project started 4 years ago in South Africa, and 4 years ago in South Africa, they created this amazing Shabbos where Chief Rabbi Warren Goldstein came up with the idea where he said, let's see what it would be like if we could get people around the entire South Africa to keep Shabbos for 1 week. And I'm sure when he announced the idea, there were plenty of people that turned around and says, you're a dreamer, you're crazy, you're mad, how could you even consider such a thing? This is never going to work, this is never really going to be a success. And yet, slowly but surely, the movement gained traction. It was a grassroots movement as it's known, meaning it started from just the regular people in the street, enjoying it, thinking the idea was a clever idea, and everybody it became the thing that people were discussing. Are you keeping Shabbos this week? I'm keeping Shabbos this week. Stars, musicians, people that are known around the entire South Africa as very cool, very with it, very hip people, all started coming out on Facebook and on social media and saying, I am going to keep Shabbos. And they made a challah bake, which is the first of its kind, and South Africa is blessed with much better weather than we are blessed over here. So they had an outdoor challah bake, and they had thousands of people at this challah bake. And then they had the Friday night, and then they had Shabbos day, and Motzei Shabbos they had a massive concert, and the week after, so on Shabbos, because everyone was keeping Shabbos, there were no pictures, there was nothing of anything coming around, and suddenly Motzei Shabbos Sunday, pictures started coming out. People started seeing what this was all about. And everybody turned around and said, oh my goodness, I can't believe he pulled this off. I can't believe he did this. And it's just amazing, phenomenal. And people who've never kept Shabbos before turned around suddenly and said, this was one of the highlights of my life. I've never done this before, but I would definitely do this again. Amazing, amazing, amazing time. And the rest of the world looked on and said, wait a minute. If he can do it, we can do it. We're not behind in England. We're not behind in America. We're not behind in Europe. We're not behind in Israel. And suddenly, for that next year, everybody got it planning. And everybody started making ideas. And actually, the Shabbos project, or as it's known in England, ShabbatUK, got off to a bit of a rocky start. We weren't sure the chief rabbi would or wouldn't buy into it, but with a bit of pressure, both from South Africa and from us in Manchester and in England and in London, suddenly everybody bought into this Shabbos project. And the first year, I mean, we didn't know what to expect here in Shrubberies. I know there are people here that were here the first year for ShabbatUK, and we thought, we're going to make a dinner and we'll have a Friday night, and we had these Hasidim walked into our shul on Friday night. And 10 men with streimels standing in the back. And everybody's looking at these fellows and thinking to themselves, what are you doing here? What are you doing in Prestwich Hebrew congregation? This is not your kind of shul. This is not your community. This is not where you feel comfortable. You belong in Broughton Park. Go back to Bells. Go back to Satmar, wherever you've come from. We, here in Strubs, will have our thing. And then, surprise of surprises, the Hasidim ascended onto the bima. They made their way on to the chazan. And they're standing behind the chazan. Everybody says, these guys didn't only get lost here. they think they belong here. They're standing on the bima with our chazan. And he started singing, and when the chazan started singing first, he started l'chun eranana, you did nefesh, l'chun eranana, and we got to Mizmar LeDavid, and suddenly, one fellow came out from his seat with another 3 guys, and they linked hands and they started dancing. I get emotional even speaking about it now. You watch the people, and suddenly, our shul, with people from Pressrush, from the very from community, and people in the Hasidim, they all linked hand, and we danced around the shul like we've never danced before. It was the most amazing thing, and people were putting on shtreimels, and people were dancing, and people were singing from their seats, and it was just phenomenal. And then we had l'chadodi, and after l'chadodi, the same scene repeated itself again with the dancing. And there's a story that I always think about when it comes to ShabbatUK, and this is the story that I'd like to start with before we get into song. I'm hoping, there's somebody from Aish that's meant to be helping me today, that's here with a guitar. However, they have a trustees meeting, and they're running late. He was supposed to be here now. He is next door. Hopefully he'll be coming in soon. I hope he'll be able to join us at least for part of it with his guitar, and we're going to be singing. What I'd like to do today is getting into the spirit of Shabbos, talking a bit about the songs of Shabbos, and talking a little bit about the spirit of Shabbos, and just singing the popular songs with you. We were going to have a Thursday night kumzitz. We were going to have a Thursday night get-together of singing songs and of getting into the spirit of Shabbos. I must tell you, there are more people here at the Monday Club than signed up for the Thursday night event, so good on you. And we, hopefully, I hope that together we can build a little bit on that spirit of Shabbos for the Shabbos that's coming ahead. And so somebody came over, I can't remember if he spoke to me or if he spoke to my wife on the Friday night dinner, because everybody came out of that Friday night davening. It was such a high. And somebody came over to my wife or to myself on that Friday night dinner, and he said, you know what? I saw these guys walking to our shul, these Hasidim, and I said to myself, they don't belong here. And not only do they not belong here, nobody's really interested in them, and nobody wants to see them, and nobody wants to interact with them. They're one on their own, and they shouldn't be here. They should let our community do what our community does best. We will do our thing and let them do their thing. He says, and I thought of that all the way to the end of the Chadodi. And at the end of the Chadodi, after the second dance, when I looked around and I saw the people in our shul dancing, energetic, dancing, energetic, into it, linking hands with the people with hats, linking hands with the people wearing shtreimels, linking hands with people that have never worn a hat or shtreimel before, and dancing around the shul. Is that when I realized they're not wrong. They belong here. And I'm the one that's wrong. I'm the one that got it all wrong. I'm the one that has to change my attitude. I'm the one that has to be more inclusive and has to realize there are all sorts of Jews, but deep down, we're all the same week. And if Shabbos is there for us every week, we can really gain so much from this Shabbos if we really know how to focus ourselves on the Shabbos. And with that, I'd like to start with the first song. I hope you will join me with this as well. An introduction. Shalom Aleichem. Who doesn't know Shalom Aleichem? You come home from shul, and the house smells lovely from all the cooking that's been done. And you're ready to start the meal, and everybody gathers around the table. And before you start, everyone starts Shalom Aleichem, no matter where you are, no matter who you are. And I've lived on so many places, and I've lived on so many continents. I've lived in Europe, and I've lived in America, and I've lived in Israel, and I've lived in England. And no matter where I go, there seems to be a very universal theme for Shalom Aleichem. It sounds almost the same everywhere, no matter where you go. I've never gone to a country where you turn around and you go, I've never heard that Shalom Aleichem before. Never heard, it's universal. And it is universal so much because I think, the idea that it espouses, the idea of peace. We start with Shalom Aleichem, peace be upon you. we speak about peace. And we say shalom, shalom, shalom so many times, again and again. Shalom aleichem malachei shalom, malachei elyon, mimelech malachei amlachem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, boachem l'shalom, barchuni l'shalom, tzeitchem l'shalom. Again and again and again we speak about peace. And there are two important points to mention over here. Number one, to realize and to know without peace, we don't really have anything. You can have prosperity, but prosperity without peace is just a very nerve-wracking prosperity. You can have health, but if you don't have peace, then who knows if that health will remain. You can have so many things, but peace, shalom, is the greatest of all blessings. So much so that our rabbis tell us, without peace, without shalom, we have nothing else. And then that's the first point. But beyond that, also to realize, as it says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem kli machzik bracha l'Yisrael al Hashem. God found, if God had a vessel, if you want a vessel to be able to contain blessing, that's peace, that's shalom. And I like to give the following analogy, and I often found this apt. I don't know if this ever happened to you. If you've ever been to one of these coffee machines. I remember when we were kids, we had a coffee machine. It was a big deal. You had a coffee machine in your school. And if you had 50 pence, you put in 50 pence, and you could get a hot chocolate, or you could get a tea, or you could get a coffee, and it was a treat. You could treat yourself to coffee. And the worst thing that could happen is, you threw in the 50 pence, and the way these coffee machines worked, I don't know if you remember the old ones, the cup used to come into place, I guess the cup came down, and then the water came out, and with all the flavors and everything. And every once in a while, what would happen is that it malfunctioned and the cup didn't come out. Do you remember those days? The cup didn't come out. And you're watching your coffee pour down the drain. And you're like, Dad, give me a cup. Where is it? You get very, very nervous and very frustrated because I don't have my cup to hold my coffee. And if the coffee is pouring and pouring and pouring, but there's no cup to hold in the coffee, then the bottom line is, then all that is going, that coffee is going to waste. Yeah? It's a shame on that coffee and the shame on the 50p, because how would you get the 50p back out of the machine either? As a kid, you didn't come with 3 50p's. You had one 50p that your parents gave you, and they were really nice to you, and you threw it in, and you're like, my coffee. I was supposed to get a coffee. Now I got nothing. You had to start borrowing money from people, etc., etc. So it was never a good thing. But as humorous as it sounds, this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I give you a kli machzik bracha. There is a vessel that I've created, and that vessel that I've created is called shalom. It's called peace. And God says peace ascends, or descends really from heaven upon us. And we need to have peace within ourselves. Blessing descends upon us. And we need to have blessing. We want those blessings. But if you don't have that cup, it's like that coffee machine, where the blessing is descending and you don't have the cup to catch the coffee. And the coffee is all going down the drain. And what a shame for the coffee to go down the drain. So instead, what we'd like to do is we'd like to sing Shalom Aleichem. We're going to sing it together. Anybody who knows and anybody would like to join us, please do join us. I apologize, as I said, my musical accompaniment will hopefully be with us soon. David, could you? Oh, I think they're actually having a meeting in that room. I was going to ask you if you could get the benchers, because they're in the room where we have shaloshos. I think they're having a meeting there. If you can, I don't know if it would be helpful to people, but we can put out the benches. But even if not, we're going to sing Shalom Aleichem again. As I said, I hope very soon that that my musician will come and will. But I'm sure if you know the song, please do join me. If you don't know the song, I'm sure you'll catch on very quickly. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ba'achem Neshalom, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ba'achem Neshalom, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Page 32. Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech. Trying to get out. Amlachim HaShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's the next. Don't worry, we won't leave you out.
And then we having dinner.
I don't know. Mike, did you buy dinner?
Yes.
Good. We have dinner. We have sandwiches. We do. Sandwiches it doesn't make a great dinner, but we do have sandwiches.
Okay.
And cake as well, so we will have something to eat. Yeah. I know. Do you know what it is? It's almost Pavlov's dog. You start singing Shalom Aleichem, the whole crowd goes, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start feeling you're getting into the spirit, you know something is coming. So we move on from Shalom Aleichem now to Eishes Chayil. Anybody who does want to look it up, it's on page 36. And Eishes Chayil is a very, very beautiful song. Yeah, the words are lovely in English. They really are lovely in English. And we can mention some of the words. But Eishes Chayil, I feel sometimes, I'll tell you two stories. They're two of my favorite stories that they tell about Shabbos, about getting in the mood for Shabbos, about getting ready for Shabbos. There was once a fellow who came to a rabbi and said to the rabbi, he said, look, I don't know what to do with my wife. He said, what's the problem? He says, she's just not managing. He said, what do you mean she's just not managing? He says, let me explain something to you. He says, we have Shabbos, like everybody else has Shabbos. And thank God we got kids. And on Friday afternoon, we have to bathe the kids. And she struggles with bathing the kids. And the kids are always screaming. You'll remember having to wash a child's hair that doesn't want to have his or her hair washed. They never like that, pouring the water over their head. And then after that, all the food that needs to be cooked and it needs to be gotten ready. And the house looks a mess and the toys need to be put away. And we need to sweep up and we need to hoover. And she's just not managing. Rabbi, what should I do? And the rabbi said, exactly, grab a broom and get moving. Yes? Help her. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Grab that broom and help her. It is not only the woman's responsibility to make sure that the house is ready for Shabbos. In general, the women are the ones that bear the brunt of it. I'll be the first to admit that. However, it is not only their responsibility, it is the responsibility of everybody in the household. And in certain households, and I think this is an important thing, people should teach their children, people should teach their grandchildren. When we get ready for Shabbos, it's not grandma that gets ready for Shabbos, it's not mommy that gets ready for Shabbos, it's the entire household. Everybody gets ready for Shabbos, and everybody should have their job, whatever the job is. And if it's a younger child, they might not be able to do anything with great responsibility, but they could have a job in putting away their toys off their floor, or they could have a job in making sure that the challah or that the wine or grape juice, my little 2-year-old, he knows every Friday night and every Shabbos, his job is to pick up the grape juice, he picks up the challah, and he walks with that grape juice, he brings it into the dining room every week. That's his job, and he's 2 years old, but he knows, this is my job. This is what I do for Shabbos. And he waits, and it comes Kiddush, and Shlomi goes running and charges into the kitchen, and he comes out back with this big, bottle of grape juice. Because he knows it's Shabbos time. It's time to celebrate, right? It is something that's so important. And everybody needs to take a part in it. It's not only the woman's responsibility. It is not. And I'll take it one step further. There's Gemaras that speak about this, but there's a more recent story, an interesting story. There was a couple that once came to a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Gifter, who was a rabbi in America. Quite an outspoken rabbi. He's very, very strong in some of the things that he used to say. And they came to him, and the rabbi, the husband and the wife, they sit down, and he says, well, tell me the problem. And the wife says, it's Friday, and I need him to take out the rubbish, and he refuses to take out the rubbish. And the rabbi turns around to the young man, and he says to him, is that true? Do you refuse to take out the rubbish? He says, yes, I refuse to take out the rubbish. He goes, well, why wouldn't you take out the rubbish? He says, simple. I'm a rabbi. I was a rabbinic student. I am a rabbi now. It is beyond and below my dignity for me to have to take out the rubbish. Very clever, right? So the rabbi went ahead and the rabbi said, you know what? You're right. You don't have to take out the rubbish. And the wife was all upset. You don't have to take out the rubbish. He said, the husband went home very triumphant, the wife feeling very, very dejected. And that Friday afternoon, there was a knock on the door. And they opened up the door, and the rabbi who had adjudicated between the two of them was standing there. And he says, excuse me, Rabbi, what are you doing here? He says, well, you're not taking out the rubbish. Somebody has to, so I came to do it for you. And he came inside and he took out the rubbish. And I think this young man learned the hard way. Because I think if had the rabbi said to him, look, it's your job, he would have always felt, well, no, it's not really my job, and you don't really do it. But the rabbi came, this was a very important rabbi, one of the biggest rabbis in America, and he came to the house and he knocked on the door and he says, no, I am here to take out the rubbish. You should know, I also do this, and I will do it for your family if I have to. Because preparing for Shabbos is not below anybody's dignity. And the Gemara tells us of great rabbis that did different things on Friday afternoon to prepare their house for Shabbos, to make sure that their house looked right. And they might not, as I said, they might not have done everything around the house. And maybe, as I said, most of the things were done by their wives. But they weren't in any way ignoring their part of Shabbos. Shabbos is for all of us, and for all of us to enjoy and for all of us to prepare for. However, as we said, the woman is the one that in 90% of the cases will do most of the work. And as such, you stand around the table and you look and you prepared for Shabbos, and now you're ready for your Shabbos meal. And we sing Eishes Chayil. Eishes Chayil Meyimtza. Anybody who has a look, if you want to look at page 37, you have on page 37, you have the words in English as well. Some say a woman of valor, some say an accomplished woman who can find far beyond pearls as her value. Right? Because I once heard somebody say the following story, and it's a terrible story. I will preface it by saying I don't agree with this, right? But I once had somebody sit down. I heard somebody sat down and he took out a piece of paper and he worked it out and he said to himself, my goodness, getting a wife is a very expensive way of having your shirts ironed. You know? Now, obviously, I prefaced it with saying that I do not agree with this. I like to preface these things, and the rabbi said, and then afterwards, as an afterthought, he said he doesn't agree with this. I said this before I even was willing to say it. I do not agree with that. Right? However, the point that you need to make over here, an accomplished woman who can find far beyond pearls as her value. It's easy to find pearls. It might be easy sometimes to go out and to go to work and do whatever you do. Sometimes harder, sometimes easier. But what a woman does in the home, a woman who builds her house, who builds her home, who creates an atmosphere for Shabbos, who creates this beautiful Shabbos that you have, and you sit down. Very often the husband comes home, he's done something, he swept up the kitchen, he's patting himself on the back, and the woman's looking around, he said, I did 95 or 98% of everything. You did the floor, whoop-de-doo. We focus, and we say, Eishes Chayim Yimtza, woman of accomplishment who will find her value is far beyond pearls, because maybe you can hire somebody to cook for you, and maybe you can hire somebody that will make the cholent for you, and maybe you'll get a cleaning help and they'll do the floor for you, and maybe you get somebody to clean up your kids' toys, etc. For most things you can pay for. But it will never, ever make up or never ever compare with that woman who is so accomplished, who's done so much. And on Friday night we speak Shlomo HaMelech, Solomon put together, this is the end of Mishlei, the end of his proverbs that he gives. It speaks about the Torah, but it speaks about the woman as well. Her husband relies on her, and he shall lack no fortune, because the wife is there for him, in good times and as bad. She repays him good, but never his harm all the days of his life. She seeks out wool and linen, and her hands work willingly. So many beautiful things that are said about the woman. The shame is, People sing these mirrors and they don't know what they mean. And they're missing so much because it's not only nice songs. Of course it's a nice song and gets people into the feeling and into the atmosphere, but it's so much more than just a nice song. When you sing Eishes Chaim Yimtza and you know what it means and you say to yourself, Hashem, you've given me a wife. I look around, I've got all this blessing. I got my children around the table. I have the neiros, the candles lit, and I'm ready now to make Shabbos with a beautiful table that's set and wonderful food that's going to come. That's when I say Eishes Chaim Yimtza. Who will find me? Who will find a woman of valor? And her value is just far beyond anything that we can have. So if you will all join me together, we will do this together. Eishes Chaim Yimtza Merachak Mipnei Michra Batach Balei Mala Meshala Lo Yefsa Gemala Suta Velara Kal Yemei Chayeha Darshat Zemeru Vishnim Vataz Bechefetz Kapeha Ha'izakani Ha'izaiche Mimechak Tavilachma Vataka Mi'ad Laila Vatiten Teref Leveisa Vechakne Naroisea Zame Masane Vadikacheyu Mipricha Be'anatakarem Chagra B'yais Masnea Bateam Meitzera Iseha Tama Kita Isachra La Yich Bebalayla Neida Shilcha Bakisha Vechapea Tamkufalech Kappa Parsaleani Veyadeha Shilcha La'eviyah Asira Leveisa Mishaleh Yiral Beisa Lavushanim Ma'avadim Asetzala Sheish Me'agaman Nevusha Noida Vasharim Mala V'shivtayim Ziknei Yaret Tzadin Azesabatim Kar V'chagoy Nosna Laknani Oiz V'hada Levusha V'tischak Le'yoim Acharoim Piha Pascha B'chachma V'sairas Chesed Al Leshoim Tzafia Alicha Iz Beisa Belechem Atzlus Lo Yisoichein Kamuvoneh Vayashruha Bala Vayehalelo Abois Bonois Asu Chayin Ve'adonis Al Kulana Ahai Sheket Achein Ve'hevel Ayoifi Isha Yiras Adonai Isis Alot Tenula Mitriyadeha V'Hallelujah B'Sharim Aseh. Okay, we continue now with the next song, which is Yom Zeh Yisrael. The problem is that I think in the newer versions of this bencher, which is if you have a brown version, they will still have it in there. Could you pass me that brown? There was one extra one over there. If you could pass me that. And I'll tell you what page it is, because I know at home we have them in the brown version. I think the brown is a newer version of it. It will have it in it. Whereas in the brown version is on page 48. And in this version, I don't think it's in there.
You're in what?
No, Yom Zeh Yisrael.
Oh,
Oh, do you know what it is?
48.
Ha ha ha, this one's missing a page. Sorry, this one's missing a page. Is he coming in? Yeah, come on in. Okay, and my musician has just told me he's on his way in. We're going to start with the Yom Zeh Yisrael. He's going to come. We're going to make this even better. Okay, I was looking back and forth. I didn't realize I was missing some pages in my No, I have one. Thank you. I've been past one. Thank you so much, David. Okay. Yom Zel Yisrael Ora V'Simcha. This day is for the Jewish people a day of light and a day of happiness. Shabbos Menucha. So if I can, first of all, I'll introduce to you, this is Benji Harris from Aish. Yeah, and Benji is going to be joining me on guitar. Thanks, Benji. Okay. One okay?
Yeah, where you getting from?
We're going from Yom Zel Yisrael, so we've only done two. So Yom Zel Yisrael Ora V'Simcha. This is a day for the Jewish people, Ora V'Simcha, with light and with happiness. So we say light. Why do we speak about light on Shabbos? Shabbos is a wonderful day of light, and it gives you happiness. And the reason for that is as follows. The entire week, we work, we try to do whatever we can, we're busy with all sorts of things, and then come Shabbos, we try to relax. But come Shabbos, we get rid of all the distractions that we have out there. You know, you're still lucky. Most of your life, you've grown up without these. Our children don't know how to live without them. You know? And I was listening recently on the radio, and the fellow on the radio was saying, he says, if you were to have taken a picture 20 years ago of a road, and you take a picture today of the road, and you say, everybody's walking like this through the street. Nobody looks where they're going. They're just looking at their screens. Day and night, that's all we do, is look at our screens. And then, you know, all these advertisements and everything just throws it back at you saying, it's screens and more screens and more screens. So I have my mobile phone, and when I get home, thank God I can put down my mobile phone, I can turn on my television, and I'm not bombarded now with just BBC, because I have BBC and Sky and Virgin Media and this one and that one, and they have dedicated channels for all sorts of things, and you're just looking at this unbelievable rush of information and color and technology that is constantly trying to envelop us. And we on Shabbos turn around and we say, Shabbos is about what's really important. And when Shabbos is about what's really important, you focus suddenly away from all these things. You turn off your mobile phone and you sit together with your family and you have a family dinner. And I know there are people that have no screen kitchens. Friends of mine have told me, says they have it, even though everybody has a screen, in the kitchen, all the screens have to go out. So everybody has to leave their phone out for supper, which is lovely, it's wonderful. But that's the modern family. You know, 20 years ago, and 50 and 70 years ago, whatever it was, when you were younger, surely there were no distractions. You sat and you ate together as a family. And the families were much stronger. They had a much stronger bond because we bonded. We spoke to each other. And not only about the most recent film that we saw or the most funny clip that we just watched on YouTube. We had real conversations to have. I moved back. I came back to Vienna, and I was at my parents' house, and I had some of my old friends, men that I went to school with when I was 10 and 11, and they were having a conversation. And the one hand I felt very out of it because they were constantly discussing this film and this new film star and this football thing and this, that, and I didn't know any of what they were talking about. And on the one hand, I felt very out of things, but on the other hand, I said to myself, how sad is it that this is all they have? All they have to discuss is another film and another football game and back to another film and another film star. And Shabbos, we turn everything off. And Shabbos is that guiding light, because when you turn everything off, you suddenly realize, wait a minute, there's more to life than a screen. There's more to life than work. There's more to life than running and hustle and bustle. Slow down. Take the time to enjoy your family. Take the time to enjoy your friends. Take the time to enjoy time with Hashem. And that's why I say Yom Zel Yisrael, this day is for the Jewish people. Ora B'Simcha, a day of light and a day of happiness, because it lights up your entire week. It gives you perspective for the entire week to realize what's important and what's secondary. And so we sing about it. And now, together with Benji, we got... Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora B'Simcha, Ora B'Simcha, Shabbos Menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora B'Simcha, Shabbos Menucha, Shabbos Menucha. Tzivi Zabikulim Lemamad Asinai, Shabbos Umadim Yishmor B'chol Shana, L'Arav Lefonai Mazet Zarufa, Shabbos, Shabbos Menucha. Shabbos, Shabbos Menucha. Everyone, Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora V'Simcha, Ora V'Simcha, Shabbos Menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora V'Simcha, Shabbos, Shabbos Menucha. Shabbos, Shabbos Menucha. Shabbos Bezemer U'Shvachma, Shabbos, Shabbos Menucha. Shabbos, Shabbos Menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora V'Simcha, Ora V'Simcha, Shabbos Menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael, Ora V'Simcha, Shabbos. The next song is Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim. This day is honored from all the days.
66.
Page 66. Thank you very much, Brian. See, I'm running behind. Page 66. I'm going to give again a short introduction. I don't want to keep it for too long. And then we're going to say, this is the day, Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim. This day is honored from all the other days. Kivo Shamas Olam. On this day, God rested. And we say, because God rested, we rest also. It's the most respected and honored day. It's a wonderful day. It's a day where we say, we just rest. You just take that time to take a break, to focus, and to really enjoy yourself. So where we're at? Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat. 1 second. I think that was 4. We made a mistake. Yeah, we got to move that 2 further. Sorry, we made a mistake when we wrote it down. That's better. Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat Olamim. Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat Olamim. Sheishes Yamim Taseh Melachecha Melachecha Kichalaza Sheishes Yamim Sheishes Yamim Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat Olamim. Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat Olamim. Hashamayim V'Savim V'Savim Kevodot Kevodot V'Gam Ha'aretz Malachas Do Elohi V'Meila Ases Hayada Ases Hayada Ki Ha'atzov Alai Zamim Alai Zamim Yom Zeh Mechuba Mikol Yamim, Kiva Shabbat Olamim. 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 We're going to do one more song, and then if anybody wants to ask any questions or mention anything beautiful about their Shabbos, please do. So the last song we're going to do is Yedid Nefesh. Okay? We sing it every Shabbos, and as we finish Mincha, you go into Shabbos, you sing Yedid Nefesh. Shalosh Shudas is the time it's known amongst the Hasidim as Rava de Rava. Ratzon de Ratzon, the greatest time, the time of connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, where you feel very, very close. You've had your Friday night, you've had your Shabbos day, you've had your Shabbos rest, you've had your davening, you've had your sermon, you've had your Shalosh Shudas, and now you're coming to the end of Shabbos, and you feel Shabbos, you feel that closeness to Hashem, and you want to say to yourself, this is what it's all about. Because we say, this is, Me'ena Olam Haba, this is like what the world to come is going to be like. when the world comes to its completion, it'll be like one long Shabbos. That's what it'll be like. Not with all the meals. You can forget about all the meals in Olam Haba. But, no, there'll be some food. Don't worry.
You sure?
I'm not sure yet. We'll wait and see, If you bring food,
Really?
No. So you did nefesh. You did nefesh avarachamon. Now you speak about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You did nefesh means beloved of the soul. Avarachamon. Our dear Father, compassionate Father. Meshoich avdecha retzonecha. Pull me towards you. This is what I want in life. I want to be connected to you. I want to be with you. Yarutz amdecha k'may ayol. Anybody who's ever seen a deer running, let me run towards you. K'may ayol. Yishtachaveh. Bow down muladarcha to your majesty. Yerav lo yididosecha. How sweet it is, the friendship. Minofis tzuk b'chol ta'am. From any of these things that drip out of a honeycomb and any other taste. How beautiful are these words. You come to the end of Shabbos and you say, after all that, Hashem, you gave us this present. We've been so blessed. It's so wonderful that we have this Shabbos. It's so wonderful that we have that we can really focus on and connect with. Gain a perspective on what family is all about. Gain a perspective on what our life is all about. Gain a beautiful perspective on what our entire week should be, because the Shabbos should then go on and move forward and illuminate our week and change our week as it comes out of it. Because we say to ourselves, a week where I've had Shabbos before is a different week, because I now know what I'm living for. And so you sing Yedid Nefesh at the end of Shabbos. My beloved Hashem, pull me towards you. I want to be with you. I want to spend this day with you. This is the end, so to speak, of Shabbos. All right? Yedid Nefesh Avarachamon Meshamecha Eretz Anecha Yarutz Avnecha Kemaya Yishtachaveh El Mol Hadarecha Yerav La Yedidosecha Minar Vesur Lechotoam Adonai Zivaylam Nafshi Chaylas Avosecha Ana Ena Levanala Beharosta Noam Zimecha Aziz Nazek Vesis Napek Behaisala Simchas Olam Hikalena Uvras Chavili Alai Ezukat Shelaymecha Tayiret Michvaydecha Nagila Enismechava Ma'ehad Ivamayei Lechaneinu Hinei Olam Da-da-nai-nai-nai-nai 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 Okay, we'll give one more chance, and that is, anybody have an idea of a song that they would like, a Shabbos song? Maybe we'll do that just without practice. Any Shabbos songs that are favorites? Pardon?
Yeah,
Just one Shabbos. What?
I like the little
Yeah, I know the words. So you need lower. Take it out. Take out the thing. Take it off and count it.
Yeah, but something different. The
What?
little bird I like. That's the Chabad one.
Was the wall on Friday night, first time ever there. Strapped into his knapsack with his long and curly hair. He stood there for a while, then broke out in a smile. Emotion, overwhelming joy, he was filled. The men were dancing there, their hearts are full of love. They sang such happy tunes to thank the one above for showing them the way, for giving them the day to rest, rejoice, with peace of mind to reign. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with the feeling so high. We will show them all that's true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. Again, thank you very much to Benji. It was really been amazing. Thank you all for joining us. I hope it gave you a bit of a flavor of what it is getting into Shabbos. Please do enjoy your coming Shabbos, and now you'll get your afternoon tea as well. Thank you.